What's up, desktoppers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another episode of Bodybuilding University. Today, I'm joined by Baidi Farl, not IFBB Pro yet, but he will be hopefully in the near future. Obviously, check out his podcast as well. I go on his podcast a fair bit on the Fit Nation podcast. Is your channel called Baidi Farl or just Baidi?
It's actually Body Farl.
Baidi.
Like
So I've been
my nickname for
mispronouncing your name wrong every time.
No. Oh, you've been saying my name right, but my nickname is Body. So my real name is Baidi, but the nickname is Body. That makes sense.
So you've made it harder for everyone.
I mean, it made it easier for some and harder for some, I guess.
Nathan, what's happening, my man? What's going on with you? Like, we noticed, like, Baidi?
No, but no, Baidi. You said it perfectly.
Okay, Baidi and I noticed that you're looking leaner, man. Like the face and everything's coming in a bit, and delts are looking big still. So,
you know me. Get in shape fairly quick, and obviously, being a FIBO. So I've probably done 5 weeks worth of walking in 2 days. So my fat ass is gonna be on the sofa now, kicking back and just chilling, just getting ready to put the hammer down, bro, and slay some men.
Like it, man. I actually have never asked you this, but I don't know if he was doing podcasts at the time or maybe it was before we started doing a podcast, but when you competed, I remember you went to, I don't know if it's FIBO or another big expo. You did it, I think, the week in between two shows that you did. And I believe you won a show. And then you, I think, went to FIBO or one of these big expos. And then the next week was when you placed, I think, fourth, I think it was, in that show. And there was a bunch of those guys in there that you were beating, and then you slipped in that one show. That was after an expo the week before. Because I remember you saying, you said, oh, I didn't even have enough time to, he said, oh, I haven't got a meal in and miss long. And I was like, isn't Nathan doing next week? I'm like, I wonder if that will affect him at all. And then you slip back, but I thought you still looked fantastic because I saw the video, the day before the show. I was like, oh, looked like it didn't affect Nathan, but it affected.
Dubai show, right? I think it was the Dubai Expo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So do you think that affected maybe like, because I'm just going off photos. So you looked the same to me, but I was like wondering if in person that did affect your look at all. Do you think that changed anything or no?
Nah, bro. Just who was on the panel at the time. And that was all, to be honest. The guys beat me, probably shouldn't have beat me, but it is what it is. We just keep on going, we smile, and we get on with it. End of the day, had a good time at the expo, as always, a night out after it. Got back and then, partied hard.
Nathan should have about maybe 3-4 more wins. Right? Probably like 4 more wins to his account. Yeah.
I got I counted them. Probably should have took Prague twice. Should have took the Arnold Classic, Europe a while back. What else should have took? Spain, and a few more, bro. A few more. But and 2 Bro show when I should have won Rowley, the first ever show. Should have took that one. Should have beat Cluco as well in California. I got second. We all seen that one. Steve got his ass whooped. What else?
I want to see photos of that show.
Hey, I feel like, with all due respect to Steve, I feel like there's a few shows that Steve probably didn't look like he was winning.
It's funny, man. There's guys like Steve Kuklo. There's guys like, I'm trying to think, Hunter. There's a few guys that have gotten. Even Ian Valier got it a little bit where some people thought they shouldn't have won shows that they won. Like the online consensus was that someone else won the show. Nathan, you was involved in it in the opposite way last year. The consensus was that you beat Regan in that show, online. It's just the facts. I put up polls, I'm not imagining it. But and it's like if they get those sort of shows and they win them, it almost hurts them with the fans and the online popularity. Like it actually hurts the person that wins because then they get slammed a lot of the time. And I was actually worried because the online polls that I saw with the Detroit Pro this weekend, I saw one put up, but I don't know if it was just a ton of Brazilian fans that now support Goodvito because he lives there and he had Brazil on the competitor list, I think, instead of Russia. So I don't know if it's Brazilians getting on there, but I saw one, it was like 87% had Vito winning over Martin. But then when Martin won, it wasn't like too many people complained. So It's
He's mad, bro. I would have put Russia because if you do well in Russia, bro, Putin hooks you up. Now, if I was Russian, bro, I'd be putting Russia. If Putin wanted to take me on board, I'd put Russia there. Look what he done for Habib. You know, give Habib 20 million or something and bought him all his houses, the boys all his cars. Bro, so you want to hook me up, you know, I put the Russian flag there and give me a I ain't shy. I ain't shy.
I think Vito probably wants to do the Arnold Brazil next year. That's why he wants to win that.
Yeah. But they don't want the Russian, like, you know, when there's 45 competitors all up in the pros and like 3 of them aren't Brazilian. It's like, you know, they don't want the Russian coming in and winning it all. I will claim him. He's doing good. But it sounds crazy. Like, it sounds completely like a completely different dynamic in Brazil with the fans and how it is and all that sort of stuff. Like, even with Iran and those sorts of countries as well, it's like there's a lot of pressure to do well compared to America. Like, if you don't do well in America, it's like you can go home and you're good, but you don't have people going like nuts online because it sounds like if you're Brazilian, like you'd be worried if you didn't do well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But let's get on. Sorry, you go, man.
Oh, my bad. No, I was gonna say, I just had Carlos on yesterday, and
nice.
I wanted to see how his experience in Brazil was. But Carlos was a nice guy, so he said it was good. It was good, but I've also heard that it's kind of uncomfortable when you go to Brazil to prep, you know, just because, you know, it's not, you don't have the things we have here. Nobody speaks the language, shit like that. But I've also heard it's not that nice over there. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm sure somebody comment. Like as far as neighborhoods, as far as the gyms, unless you go to like Rafa's gym, which he might kick you out like a couple weeks out.
Don't clog his toilet, man. Don't clog it.
Yeah, but
don't block the toilet, bro. Don't block the toilet.
Oh man. I've enjoyed the stories lately. I've actually got it'll be out by the time that this podcast is up, but there's I don't know if you guys saw it, the Menace podcast, the last one with who was on that one? George Farah?
Yeah.
No,
Did you see the part at the start?
The who?
The part
beginning?
at the start where they talk about Patrick coaching Milos.
Yeah, no. When I watched the episode, I thought that was weird because Milos was like, "Yeah, I worked with you in the past," and Patrick was like, "No, you got the wrong guy. It's not me." But then Patrick goes and describes his entire protocol. I'm like, wait. So if he didn't help you, how would you know his entire protocol? You know, when I saw that episode, I was like, that was kind of weird. I don't know I think he's trying to say, no, you didn't coach me. You just helped me. But that's kind of the same thing. That's what everybody says with Milos, apparently. Like, no, he's not my coach, but he's helping everybody, it seems like, you know.
I spoke to Patrick, man. So after this podcast goes up, I'll finish my video on that. But yeah, bro, it was yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird. But basically, Nathan, if you haven't seen it, they're basically debating whether Milos coached Patrick or not. Patrick says he didn't, and Milos says he did. So it's I don't know how you can say one and the other, but
this keeps happening to Milos for some reason. I don't. I think he has to be very direct with you. Hey, I'm your coach or I'm not, because people seem to, you know, can't.
Yeah, just get off when they want, right?
Yeah. I think people just want free information from him because he just gives it for free.
Who's he got now? Regan.
Horse,
supposedly, allegedly, I guess. I don't know.
Regan, Horse, and Tabani.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe he should stop helping people so easily because people don't seem to respect his time.
Just charge their ass. If you charge them, you have proof of receipt. Even if it's if you're a pro and you charge them £10 or $10, whatever you want to call it. Look, bro, you're a pro. I won't charge you, but I need a receipt. So I'll invoice you £10 every month, and then obviously you can go from there because no one's going to complain about £10. But you then got proof to be like, boom, bitch, get out the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I love it. But let's talk about that Detroit Pro, which Martin Fitzwater won. We had him on just before the show, the Detroit Pro. He was actually, I said to him, I'm like, you're a changed Martin, you know. He's very like calm, humble. He didn't seem like hyped up or anything. So I'm like, you seem like you're in a good headspace, like going into this show, not too like mentally unsteady or anything like that. Like a lot of, let's face it, most bodybuilders are, 3 days out from a show or 2 days out from a show. So you came in, looked awesome, won it, and it was a clear top 2. Baidi, who did you have? Because I know after prejudging, I thought the Goodvito was better at prejudging than he was at. Oh, I don't, not necessarily he was better, but I think that he did better at prejudging. That's how it came out on the scorecard. So it was 1 point at prejudging, and then at finals, Martin won it with sort of straight first. So I thought Martin was improved at finals as well. I don't know if he was fuller or what, and pushing out against the skin a bit more. And I'll pull up some video in just a moment. But Baidi, what do you think about the 1-2 Goodvito versus Martin Fitzwater?
Yeah, it's funny because it was a really close show. I think that might have been the closest show we've had this year, right? I don't think I remember another show this close. So they're very similar in a lot of ways, but very different in a lot of ways. Similarities like the height, size, similar height, similar size, both in great condition, right? And I guess that's kind of where it ends, because Vito kind of has like, he looks freaky because he's not in proportion really, right? He has huge legs, pretty good arms, not super complete, but it flows and it looks good, honestly. A lot of us were hard on Vito from the pictures because it looked funky, look Photoshop, it looks grainy, filters. So I didn't know if he was, gonna deliver, but he did. I think Martin gets him on completeness and balance. You look at Martin, you don't see any weak areas. I can't look at any part of this guy's body and be like, he needs to bring this up. He has good shoulders, good arms, good abs, good back, good legs, everything. He was, for prejudging, he was in shape, but he could have been drier. But he was bursting fucking full. I don't think he could have been an ounce fuller without spilling over. That's kind of like Martin's specialty. He comes in fucking full and round as shit everywhere. He kind of reminds me of Compton, actually. I told him after text, I was like, I haven't seen a bodybuilder that shredded and full and have that bubble look like since Compton, And of course, Phil Heath is the king of that shit. But Phil Heath is like another level of that kind of look. So yeah, I thought Martin deserved it just off of completeness, and he peaked perfectly. Vito maybe stood out a little bit more in prejudging because of the shoulder width, and he was fucking shredded and the freaky body parts. But I think Martin deserved it. If I were the judge, I probably would have picked Martin, but it was super close because I went either way.
Yeah. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, bro, I watched it with Stefan. Martin, I believe the morning show was Martin's own fault why he didn't look as conditioned. That's because he was stressed. And that's, Martin's tell you that because, he was asking Stefan, how was he? He was stressing. And Stefan told him, bro, look, you're dry. The only thing that's going to cause water is you for stressing, right? Because he's texting Stefan saying, like, I'm sweating, but you're only sweating because you're stressed, bro. Like, don't stress. And for me, I believe I didn't think it was too close. I made a comment on it. And because I'd seen pictures, I knew how dry he was. I knew that even though the lighting was good in the backdrop, I knew he was better than what was being shown on the pictures, right? Than what was being shown on the live stream and stuff. So I already knew where he'd stand. The only thing that say that beat him was Vito's lower half from the back. Yeah, he's a lot more. I wouldn't say more shredded, just a bit more muscularity to the hamstring. Condition was there, but like Baidi said, the completeness of Martin just beat him. You looked at Martin and, you couldn't say he needed more of this. He was as complete as what Martin could be, to where you see Vito and you're like, his legs are massive. Then to match the massive legs, you need the massive shoulders. The shoulders are big, but they're nowhere as big as the legs. You know what I mean? So there's small things you're noticing. And I just think, the presentation as well. I think Martin presented the package a lot better. I think, that Vito done a Crizzo type thing, when they both, when they're on stage, they panic and the posing isn't the best. But I couldn't see that that there was much in for me. Like, I had Martin from the first picture of seeing, and I'll stick by that. He's got room to improve as everyone, but bro, I believe it was that's the best Martin you could get. And you know, knowing Stefan and the protocols, and know that all Martin would have done after the show, bro. And I'm telling you now, at one meal, maybe two, and just slept. You know, that's all he would have done. Stefan doesn't, when he's got it, bro, he don't push the food, he don't do nothing. He just says, sleep, man. Go home and sleep. You know, don't be texting me, don't be worrying, don't be going on Instagram looking at everyone saying, just eat your meal and sleep. You know, and you could see that because in the evening time, if you look at if you look at his face, right, in the morning he looked happy and you know he was trying putting that face on, but then over a nighttime show he looked a bit more relaxed and a bit easier flowing. You could see it, you know, in the show. And Vito wants to play games like stroking his leg and that, and Martin just wasn't having it, bro. Like he's like, fuck that, I mean to do a job. So if Vito wants to get the crowd going, which he knew he would have known, like, look, I'm behind, I need the crowd behind me. To where Martin's like, fuck this, but I've got it in the bag. I'm just here to pose, get my money, and go home.
I think like you can see when they hit like a side chest here as well. When you saw it side by side, it looked a little bit more obvious, but you can see the real density on Martin, like that real sort of hard thickness. But I think would have shown up more in person because Vito, like you said, like he's got the hamstrings and legs look insane here from the back, and they look really filled out and really impressive. But when you turn to the side, Martin sort of got that hamstring hang and everything, which I think you can sort of notice that the density is something that, like, I remember seeing Branch Warren in person and online, I never appreciated his physique really. I was like, oh, I don't like his shape and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, he shouldn't be doing as well as he does. Then I saw him in person compete in Australia. And I was like, look, okay, Branch Warren doesn't have my favorite physique, but I get it now. Like I understand it because that gnarliness and density, when you see that in person, you don't notice if he's got a bit of a torn muscle. You know, you don't really see those little imperfections as much in person because you're so freaked out by the conditioning and gnarliness and density there. And I think that's what you'd see probably in person a little bit more on Martin as well. But, you know, there's no doubt it was close. I mean, it was close on a judge's scorecard, but it sort of makes me like wonder, would Martin have challenged at the Arnold in Brazil? Because I think Goodvito was actually better at this show than he was in Brazil as well. Like Nathan, do you think he could have?
Martin would have won. Martin would have won Brazil, but would you should, yeah, it's different. You know, I think, you know, look at the picture there, Rafa. Martin beats him, bro. Martin beats him. For me, I just think it's better physique. You know, looks, everything just looks fuller. Just looks fuller, bro.
I'm sorry.
No, you go, bro.
Yeah, the way Rafa showed up in Brazil, I think Martin would have beat him. I think Tonio should have beat him, and I think Vito probably should have beat him as well, if I'm being honest. That's no slight to Rafa, but the way he showed up, yeah, I mean, I don't think it should even be close between him and Martin because Martin is shredded. Like he's shredded all the way down to hams and glutes. That has to count for something.
Since when does that not count for something? Like, you know,
yeah.
Most people, if Nathan showed up with that condition, I don't think they would even look at Nathan. They would be, you know what I'm saying? So it got to count. It can't, you know, it can't count for everybody else, but now for some people.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And you look at like this back lat, and you're like, there is so much density and thickness here, and you look at even in the legs as well. Like I'm a huge Rafa fan. Like I love his physique. But in the back shots, I mean, Martin would have like ran away with it. And then even in the ab and thigh as well, Martin has that little bit of like that separation in there. But look how like cut out his abs are. The quads are like super. The skin's like, it has that Phil Heath look to it. And I think that's why people were saying like, oh, he looks like Phil in terms of fullness and roundness. I mean, that's a rough comparison. And I know that's not going to help Martin, that comparison necessarily, but I mean, I get the sort of the similarities in terms of just the way that skin lays over the muscle and that sort of hardness that is more so than Raf, I guess.
Do you guys know who judged the Detroit Pro?
I'm not sure. I know. I have a feeling it would have been, you know, Steve or Tyler or someone like
wasn't
that.
It Paul? Wasn't it Paul? Wasn't Paul judging it?
He was judging.
He was one of the judges.
But he wasn't head.
He was one. I don't know if he was the head judge, but what I was gonna say is what Vito does on stage. I feel like if Steve was judging, he wouldn't like that because he keeps touching him and doing a lot of, Steve, that he doesn't like the touching. It was literally almost every pose. He touches his ass, then he touches quads. You know what I'm saying? That he hits his shoulder.
Steve's strict, man. Like, even you move forward, he's strict, and you arch around, or you point to someone's stomach. Steve's strict, bro. He's like,
did you say you punch someone's stomach?
Yeah, I always do, bro. Someone's got a fucking big stomach.
You're building him on stage.
I just look at it, bro. Just look down on it, laugh at it and shit, and it's funny. The crowd like it and shit. And you go, whoosh, hit it. But Steve don't like that, and that's pleasing the crowd, but it's not pleasing the judges. And what Biddy's saying is right. Steve, I don't think Tyler would have that either. They want to, pose, bro, hit the pose.
Yeah.
I think you can do it a little bit here and there, but he was doing it on every pose,
Every pose,
it was a lot. Yeah, Also, like what Nathan said, his posing, his mandatory, for some reason, it doesn't, I don't think he hits it that well. And he reminds me of like Ramon Dino. They seem kind of fidgety, like I think they're trying to get the crowd involved, but they're not focusing on the poses. They kind of they seem a little too loose, maybe sometimes. So I don't know.
I know exactly what you mean, man. And it's one guy I noticed it with a little bit, and I've even talked to him about it because, obviously I know him and stuff, and I want to see him do well, is Quinton Araya. I remember he was actually a little bit fidgety on stage a few times, Quinton was, and I was like, it just makes the guys look less confident. Like, if you're going like this, it looks like you don't know what you're doing, and it instantly, like, it's a human instinct. That person's not confident, or at least it tells other humans that, if someone's fidgety, it's like, oh, they're uncomfortable, so you're not drawn to them. And that's like part of a whole charisma thing with bodybuilding. You don't notice it sometimes, but if someone just goes up into a pose, smiles, looks super confident, and just holds it and just is not sweating, not moving, it's like, yeah, that dude knows what he's doing. It's like when Rami did it at the Olympia. Everyone's like, oh, Rami's just hitting the poses and looks super confident and like he can hold it all day. It's like, yeah, because he's locked in, he's not fidgeting, moving nonstop, and yeah, it just looks so much better.
Yeah, like Hadi, these comparisons, how they'll have like one show next to the other show, but they have to like speed one up or cut one down to get it to match. I was watching that with Hadi, and they didn't have to speed it up or cut it down because he was hitting it the exact same way at the exact same second. I was like, holy fuck.
I've done that same thing, man, where you have to speed them up and slow them down. And I think I've done it with Hadi maybe once, just for one video that I put it in. Yeah, it was like, it was very identical. Like, I changed one thing, I think that was it,
Yeah, so. He's like automatic. He's not even thinking about it. Down to the second, he's just it's crazy.
You should be first in and last out.
Yeah, and he's making sure he's stepping up.
You see the guys who sweat. You should hold the pose. It's not. Yeah. It's not rocket science. You know what I mean? You get gassed a little bit, but when you turn to the rear and there's no camera on the side, then let that shit out. Bend down, do a sneaky little tap. You know what I mean? But boom, be quick.
I've seen Rolly look like he was about to pass out, and Steve was like, "Everything okay? You okay, Rolly?"
I know what you mean.
Yeah, he gets. Everybody. I guess everybody has a different endurance level, maybe.
Hey Nathan, does Rolly do cardio?
Yeah, bro. When he was competing, he done a shitload, man. Like, he was doing like 90 minutes a day, hour a day, just pounding it. I used to meet him there. I used to text him and say, "Look, bro, like when you on your last 30, just text me. I'll come and do my 20." The time I get there, take my shoes off and all that crap and get ready. It was like 10 minutes next door. But yeah, bro, he pounded the cardio, even posing. Like, they used to just like hammer him in QA for posing, but like, we do a posing session. I'd do like 2 rounds. Like, Nathan, you're finished. Rolly, let's go. He was going. But Rolly's one of them people, you tell him to do 20 rounds, he'll do 20 rounds. There's no half-heartedness. He'd rather pass out and fall over than not do the 20 rounds. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He always looks like he's about to go hypo, like he's always like doing the step up.
That's the way he is, bro. That's even in life. Just like that, like, children, he's just like that calm, like that. So when I thought that, but then when you know him, you're like, it's just rolling on a normal day.
Yeah. Baidi, you mute?
Oh no.
Oh.
Can you hear me? Oh,
yeah.
no.
You leaned back and it looked like you said something, but nothing was coming out. So I was just making sure.
Oh no. No, I didn't.
But I want to also just touch on third and fourth place as well. In third, we had Ron Gordon, who he got the most shredded award. And I like how Fuad did the different awards for the most shredded, which was the John Meadows Award, which was won by Ron Gordon. Then we had most muscular, which was the Luke Sando Award, which was won by Goodvito. And then we had the best poser award, which was won by Martin Fitzwater, which was the Cedric McMillan Award. So I thought that was pretty cool how they honored them.
I thought it was nice because it didn't give the winner all the money. Even though I think Martin was probably the most shredded, it just gave everyone a bit of extra cash. And that was, on Forward's defense, well, that was good by him. It made everyone feel like a winner. Do you know what I'm saying? I know Martin won the show, I get that. But it made everyone feel like they've just won something. And everyone wants to feel good. And, massive shout out to Forward for doing that, because if I got third place, but then I got most shredded, in my mind, like, yeah, motherfucker, I could beat these guys in condition, a bit more size, and I could do it. It just gives you that little bit of a kick up the ass, that little bit of motivation, and then a bit of a thank you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nathan, it sounds borderline, almost like everyone gets a medal, and that's not what I associate you with.
No, but
I'm joking. I know what you mean.
I get just like, obviously there's only one winner, but I think what he's done to include everyone, to up the money for everyone was a good thing, because these guys put a lot of money into it, right? Obviously, if everyone would have got like a fucking invite to the Olympia, then I would have said, fuck that. No way.
Yeah.
But, rather just give all it to Martin, which probably could have, and you couldn't have really complained. It would have been nice for Martin to get the whole, like, what would it be, like 37 or something? 30, what was it?
It would have been 32 and a half. 32 and a half, I think, because there's $7.5 grand in awards, and then 25 for first. Yeah, so it would have been, it was cool, bro. But I think it was a good thing. And then what it done, it made other people think, oh, next year I'll do that show. I'll get so much money.
Yeah. I mean, they could have easily give Martin the most shredded and the most muscular with no problem. But the thing is, Martin's already happy, because Martin probably don't even give a fuck about the money. He just wants to, knowing Martin, he just won the fucking Olympia, So, he gets the 25K, he gets the Olympic qualification, he's happy. Now Ron feels like he's achieved something, because everybody tells Ron, hey, come in shape, you're going to win shows. And he finally comes in shape. So now he feels like, okay, I got some kind of, I got something from actually peaking and being shredded. So he's gonna want to do it next year. Same with Vito. Vito, it was pretty close. At least by the judges. So Vito, like, okay, I didn't win, but at least I feel like I got something. All this work has been, acknowledged. So it's not even like a consolation prize. It's more so like incentive. It gives them more incentive.
I think Ron got $7.5 grand, because I think he got $5 grand for third, and then he got the $2.5 grand. So you look at $7.5 grand when people were winning 10 grand for winning shows last year. So it's like $7.5 grand is, it's not huge money, obviously, but $7.5 grand compared to walking away with nothing is definitely an improvement. You know what I mean? Or walking away with $500 versus $7.5K. It's still a nice day out for a guy like Ron Gordon competing here. So he'll be glad that he done this show, no doubt.
For sure.
So so that was cool. What else have you guys been up to, Nathan? We were talking a little bit about before the podcast about you competing and who else is competing over in obviously Europe, and you got obviously the Dubai Pro and all that sort of stuff. We was talking about that just before the podcast. Man, it's going to be a pretty crazy competition season, because the shows we've got coming up, we've obviously got Tonio that's going to be jumping in some sort of a show. Goodvito still not qualified. We have obviously Sergio that's jumping in shows. We've got Mikhail Krizo. We've got Beirut Tabani. There's so many names that jumped in.
Andrew Jack.
Andrew Jack.
You got Stu. You got who else you got? You got Tim Bundeswein.
At some point, Carlos.
Yeah, you got
Hunter.
Scott, you got the bro.
Hunter.
There's so many. You got Bonac.
Brett Wilkin.
Brett
No,
Wilkin,
Brett,
yeah.
and there's only so many shows, bro.
Damn.
You're not gonna. Everyone's not this year. This year, everyone isn't gonna qualify. Everyone who you think is gonna qualify ain't gonna qualify. I'm telling you, some people maybe in that top 10 Olympia last year ain't gonna qualify this year, and that's for sure.
Oh. Regan got to qualify too. He was top 10.
He got to qualify. He probably come to Europe, but then you got me. No, you got Bonac. You got Crizzo. You got Nexzilla. You got Andrew Jack. You got Tabani. There's only so many shows in Europe, bro.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I'm telling you, bro. I might get a lot of backlash on this, but I don't care, you know. European shows right now are harder. European shows are harder to qualify than the American shows. I was talking to a couple of pros at the FIBO. I said, what show are you doing, bro? And like, oh, we're going to America. I said, why? Like, it's easier to qualify. They were the words, bro. It's easier to qualify in America than it will be to be in Europe. So what's that saying? Yeah. And like, that's not me. People are choosing to go there. They're going to spend more money going there, you know, on the flights and that. But go look at that Olympia jacket. But they know they want European shows now are a lot harder. And the guys, bro, in Europe, we suffer when we diet. We suffer. I'm not saying the guys in the US don't, but we're a lot better conditioned than most, you know, and we're willing to suffer. We're willing to go all or nothing. But I just think the European shows this year and from going forward now are in a better place. It's gonna be hard, even for myself. You know, I'm not gonna be arrogant about it and say I walk the show, because it's gonna be hard even for me to qualify. And that's just how hard it's gonna be.
You know what makes it even harder? You guys over there, when you guys qualify, you guys don't call it there. Sometimes you guys continue to compete. Like Nathan does that, you know. So Presti, I think Presti win a show and continue competing. So you got a lot of guys who are trying to qualify. You also got the Europeans doing, you know, fucking 3-4 shows. So guys who are show winners are gonna come try to take your spot. So it's gonna make it really, really difficult. The Americans don't really do that. The Americans, once they qualify, they're usually done. So you don't see the really long, deep lineups in America that you would see. You might see a competitive top 2 or top 3, but you don't see it competitive all the way till 10th place type kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I remember back in the day, we used to see some shows where it seemed like a lot of pro shows. I'm talking maybe 6 years ago, where you'd see top 5 were all pretty bang on standard, you know, like some pretty good guys in there. Then you'd see 6th, 7th, it would be like, yeah, some pretty decent guys. And then sometimes you get a reasonably stacked top 10, but then it would sort of, you know, maybe like 9th, 8th that start to dip off a little bit, you know, or they're decent guys that have just missed it. But now it's like a lot of shows are very like top heavy, and then it falls off, you know. But I think because like the Olympic qualification thing, it's like, well, people see that Nick Walker's doing a show. I'm sure, based on the fact that Nick is in there, it's discouraged 1 or 2 people from doing that show. Maybe like a John De La Rosa, maybe they would have done these shows if they're like, okay, well, Nick's not in it, so I'm in with a chance, you know?
Yeah, but it's like, Nick is a whole different caliber. So, I mean, you know, for 100%, I'm not even gonna say 99%, 100%, you're not gonna beat Nick. But that being said, you could only run away from competition for so long. This is the IFBB Pro League. It's not the elite. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, let's say you dodge a Nick at New York. Well, now at Cal, then you got what? Tonio, you got Stu, you might have Vito, you might have probably not Nexzilla. You know, Joe. Listen, Joe is gonna look crazy. You know, a lot of people don't know Joe yet. He's not a big name, but
how do you
Joe
pronounce
gets
Joe's last name?
Palacios.
Oh man, that's the thing. It's brutal. Palacios.
But nobody's gonna see Joe coming. Joe is one shot. He did one USA's one. He was fucking natural before that. He's adding like 30 pounds of muscle a year. You know, I get to see him in person, but he likes it that way. But at the Cal, people are definitely gonna know who Joe is. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that big and shredded, it is what it is. So you dodge one show just to have everybody who didn't win that show move to the other show, and they continue to move, right? And that just keeps going for the rest of the year.
You got Akeem. Akeem hasn't even qualified yet.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about Akeem. Well, John John De La Rosa. Did we say Quentin? Quentin didn't qualify.
No, Quentin.
We
So,
say quit.
I don't know,
There's
man.
so many, man.
But the Americans, they try to choose the shows wisely to avoid it. But you can't really avoid it because the next show they're just gonna jump back in. I guess Detroit would have been good for a lot of people, but are they really gonna beat Martin? I don't know. I don't know if they would. Any of these guys would have beat Martin. What American would have beat Martin right now besides Nick? That have to qualify. I don't know. I don't know how many more Americans are gonna beat Martin at this point.
If you were
So-
Martin, would you try to go on a run and just try to win some of these shows? Because they're not 10K shows anymore. They're 15K shows at least. So, I mean, I think New York's more as well. So would you just compete and just go hell with it? Because even if he does New York, he's got a decent chance of second, I'd say, in that one. Because I think this
Yeah.
honestly probably would have, I think it would have beaten
so.
Tonio. I think it would have
I think
beaten,
so.
I think it would have beaten all those guys that down South America, but it would have been very close. So say he wins that, even if he gets second to Nick and gets a nice like call out in comparison, that's still 9. What is it, 10K or something like that for second?
Wow, 7.
Is it? I thought New York was a bit
Well,
more, wasn't it, or no?
Well, didn't it go up?
Yeah.
How much?
I'll check it. I think it went up actually. I think it was an announcement, but I can't remember.
It went up.
7.5 for the.
I think it went up once or twice. No.
Well, it
Because
went
they
up. The New York went up, I think, and then they upped the prize money. They said they're adding more in. So I don't know if that means it gets an extra 5K on top, or I'm looking now to see if I can find the prize money thing.
Well, when it comes to Martin is young. He's like the bodybuilder's bodybuilder. He's craving wins. He wants to win. So I don't know how big of a factor money is for him. It has to be some factor because you got to fucking eat. But he seems like he wants the best case scenario to place high at the Olympia. And he's young enough that I think he can add tissue from here to the Olympia. So I can see why he's not doing more shows, but he could definitely do a run and take a lot of qualifications from people,
Yeah, for sure. I can't find how much this New York prize money is. I don't think I always look on Bev's gym, but I don't think they posted where, unless they posted about it longer ago than 15 weeks. But anyway, I think it's more than the average show, at least by like a 5 or 10K or something.
Yeah. But Nathan's right, because I'm thinking about what American can beat Martin besides the Lunsford and Nick, and I'm like, most of the top guys aren't actually American then, because
What, bro?
that's
top guys, right? Let's name them. Nick, Derek, Hunter. Who else you got?
Brandon was in the fourth last year.
Oh yeah, you could say Brandon, but Brandon
He's Mr. Olympia, bro. We don't count. He's Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
At the end of his career too. Yeah. Now you got Martin. I mean, yeah, those are the top guys. Regan isn't even American.
Everyone else is European, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Brett
Wilkins
can do some things, but Martin looked very, very good. I think Martin's last appearance was better than Brett Wilkins' best so far. But Brett was shredded though. And he was against Beirut that show, and he did nearly beat him. So that's a tough call actually. But there's not many guys that would beat Martin. And the thing is, I mean, I was saying it for a while. I'm like, Martin, with the amount of dedication he has, plus the rate he improved for that Texas Pro, I'm like, he just, and plus he's working with Stefan as well. And Stefan's done very well with other clients, and he doesn't tend to miss with guys from what we've seen so far. So I was like, people are sleeping on Martin because it's 18 months of progress, and he put it to good use, man. He didn't do anything to ruin his physique or anything. He just made solid improvements.
I reckon he compared next to Hunter.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting one.
Both got that white man look, haven't they? Right? Got that full belly look.
Are we talking about Hunter's best so far, or are we talking about what Hunter might bring this year?
You can only judge him on the best so far, bro. You can't. He's not in shape now.
What's Hunter's best?
Last year,
Texas.
Right?
Last year, Tampa.
I agree.
Tampa, Texas. Maybe
Texas.
Tampa. I think it was.
Yeah, I think he said Tampa was his best look. Now I think about it.
See?
Well, they both lost to Andrew. I mean, yeah, they both lost to Andrew Jack, but not like a straight first loss. it was close enough. So they're see, nobody would think that if you said it out loud, nobody would say, yeah, Hunter and Martin are like at the same level because Hunter already been top 5. But if you just comparing physiques, let's be real. It's close, man. It's
okay,
close.
if Hunter were in the top, here's a question. Be honest. Just fire one answer, right? Hunter hasn't placed top 10 Olympia before. Hunter's best, Texas or wherever you said, right? I think it's Texas. And then Martin last week. Who'd you pick?
They gotta pick.
It's
Martin,
so
bro.
hard, man. It's so hard.
Oh, bro, simple question. It's only a name, bro. Hunter or Martin? Pick one.
Martin is actually more shredded.
Listen, you can't make excuses for your cause. Pick one. Straight name, Hunter or Martin?
I gotta pick Martin, bro. I gotta pick Martin. I think that's gonna be an unpopular opinion, but I'm just looking at the physique. Take off the head. Yeah. Martin has no weaknesses. I could say Hunter has some weaknesses. He has a torn muscle here.
Conditions the weakness. Hunter's conditions the weakness.
He also has a torn muscle, torn chest. He doesn't have a good back. His back double isn't as good as Martin, even though it's improved. So if they're both shredded, I mean, or if Martin's more shredded, Hunter has a little bit more size, I would say, structural size.
Yeah.
Martin has more balance, so he's more shredded, more balanced, comparable in size. I think, you know, I'm not saying he would play high at Olympia, but if I'm judging, I think I got to say Martin. I don't know.
Come on, Xavier.
It's tough. It's tough.
I was deep in thought this whole time.
I'll be the host and put the controversial BS out.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was saying Woody won the Arnold and stuff like that in Brazil. Now, Hunter, I would say with ease would win that Arnold South America for his best against like Raf there. And we're saying, I think Martin would win it too. I think he would too. Yeah. But based on like how much better was Goodvito? I know I'm doing bodybuilding maths, but how much better was Goodvito at Detroit versus South America? Do we all think he was better or
25%? 20%.
25.
He would definitely
10, yeah.
He was definitely better because he was just as shredded, but fuller, way fuller. Yeah. So I think he was better. Hey man, it is what I mean. It's hard to say, it's hard to say these things because Hunter is such an established name. Yeah. But hey, we gotta be real. We can't judge people by even the past. We can't judge them by how popular they are. We just looking at a physique. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it.
Okay, I want to say this. I think Hunter's a bit of a sometimes he's the whipping boy because you can sort of pick him apart a bit. So everyone sort of like everyone makes the comparison to someone being good enough to be top 6 in the Olympia by saying
I'm just thinking for me, both got the same physique, similar structure, similar look. Take the heads off, just the physique. For me, I'd go, like Vince said, Hunter's bigger, but Martin's more complete, more shredded. Hunter this year could be the animal, but from what we've seen, I would go with Martin. I'm not saying that's why I said take Olympia placings out of it. If Hunter was at that Detroit show, would you beat Martin? I don't think he would have.
Oh, man, it's tough. I don't want to be a fence sitter because I know I'll cop shit in the comments.
Yeah, bro.
I'm finding Hunter's. I'm trying to find his Gilco production.
Oh, listen, we're all bodybuilding fans. We all like the both of them, but it's just a controversial question. People are going to in the DMs saying their opinion. It's going to kick off. It's funny, but that's just our opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. What I might do as well in this part of the video while we're talking about it, I might even put it up as a separate video and put these guys side by side because I think they both have Gilco video as well. So we've got Gilco video of Martin.
Yeah.
I think we do of Hunter as well. So I'll find that and put it over the top. But I'll try to find. I'll keep looking for
10, 9. Pick, bro.
I'm gonna go with. I just saw a picture of Hunter.
Pick.
I'm gonna go Hunter.
Pussing out.
That's not pussy. That's giving that. I'd say that's the opposite of pussing out. Pussing out would have been me saying Martin and being like 100%.
So as the judge would say, take the highest away and the lowest away. Martin wins.
And now when Martin watches this, By the way, fuck both of you guys for both picking Martin, but when Martin watches this, I was on Martin leading up to this show for however many months, and now everyone's on him now that he's won, and now I'm off him. No, I'm not off him at all. I'm not off him at all. But
it's a debate, right? Because if you ask,
good question.
If you ask who'd win, Nick or Martin, Nick. You know, it's
you're right.
We're bodybuilding fans, bro. That's it. You know, Nick or Hadi. Just we're bodybuilding fans, and not just, you know, we're not bitching about it. We're just asking, like, they got similar physiques. It's like you ask, you know, Andrew, Jack, and Samson. You know, it's
you know,
we're just comparing apples to apples, not because it's like we're comparing Martin to Samson. It's apples to apples because they're both the same. You know.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
Got a red apple and you've got a green apple. What you like more?
Pink ladies.
That's a really good question, man. Honestly, one thing I'm really surprised at Vito, how good Vito is, because I honestly didn't believe it. I thought he was gonna be small. Yeah, I thought he was gonna be small, and I thought he was gonna be like not in shape. If I'm being honest, that's what I thought.
I think
100%.
I didn't realize he was so short, right? That's why he looks so freaky. You know, I'll give the guy, I'd say, another 18 months. You know, this year he's winning shows regardless, right? He's going to win a show this year. 18 months, bro, you can put him in that, say, space second call out to the Olympia for sure.
Yeah, he's only like, is he 26, 25, 26? That's crazy, you know. He looks good here. This is definitely Hunter's best by far.
This is what I'm saying, man. Like, this is pretty, like, this is pretty damn good.
It's impressive, yeah.
It's impressive, but I think I just being Martin.
Yeah, I think it'd be a very interesting battle for sure. And
you're gonna that's a battle you're gonna see at the Olympia. And I guarantee Martin comes in the way he did, you're good, whether it's you know, 5 from 6 to 10, them two are getting next to each other regardless. And not put anything on it. You know, because you're not getting much of a better comparison, you know, and everyone gives Hunter stick, and Hunter knows that because obviously who he is and whatnot. And people go like, look, everyone's hyping up Martin or whatever. Let's put Hunter against him. Let's see if Hunter can deal with him. Boom. If he does, he does. He doesn't, he doesn't. You know what I mean? You're gonna get that call out regardless. I don't care. I believe you're gonna.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see, and that'd be huge for Martin too, because like you said, Nathan, I think they compare well, you know, like similar sort of physiques. I don't think Martin's going to be out conditioned by Hunter, even though Hunter brought great conditioning here. I think they're probably somewhat similar conditioning.
You're like Hunter, bro, like he's bought condition. I like his physique, but he's bought it once. If something, I don't know him personally, but if something's stressing him out, it seems in his life, or at the time, you can see in the physique. Like when always in the morning, he's like sweating, he's nervous, and you see on his videos, you know, after the show, he's like said, I was nervous, and this is what's happened and whatnot. So he can't afford to get nervous, you know. Martin's the same, but I think Martin deals with it a little bit better.
Yeah, well, I actually heard. Oh no, man, I was about to say I heard it from you at the start of the podcast, or maybe before we started the podcast. You were saying Martin was stressing about and holding a bit of water and stuff. I was going to say, oh well, Martin actually was stressing a bit as well. I heard on a podcast. I'm like, fucking just heard this podcast.
Now, this isn't like a slight or a discredit to Hunter in any way. It's just more of a positive to Martin. You know, it's not like you know. So we still think Hunter has a great physique and is a great bodybuilder. It just tells you how
Hunter's top 6, 7, 6 Olympia, regardless, man.
Now, something about that placing. When you're that 6th to like 10th guy, like Ian was, you kind of catch a lot of slack because you're not a top guy, but you're not like, you know, you're kind of between the second and first call out. So it's a tough part to stay in for a few years because people want to see you move up, right? Like you see Nick move up. So when you stay around there, people start to pick you apart because you're not improving at maybe the rate they would like to see you. But you're still one of the best in the world. So Hunter still deserves a lot of respect, which sometimes he doesn't get a lot of love because he's been, you know, when you've been 4th, maybe he shouldn't have been 4th though, honestly. But he's been 4th and he moved down and he stays around that spot. So now it's like
that's not his fault, right? So like
No,
It was
no,
like
not at
he
all.
got fourth and that, but that's not his fault. He went there with the
No,
package bought and he got given fourth. So whether it was it was a gift. He probably knows that, but like he ain't going to
yeah,
complain. You know what I mean?
hell no, yeah. So
But
that's
that's
why it seemed like he gets a. Uh-huh. It seemed like he gets a lot of slack, which he shouldn't. But right now we're literally just judging physiques, and I got to say, I think Martin, this is a better package than we've seen from Hunter. To me personally, that's just one opinion. I'm sure there's other people with different opinions.
Man, now I'm seeing it. Like when I saw the Hunter video, I'm like, nah. Hunter, yeah, he's a bit more developed. And then I see Martin, and I'm like, I'm getting that recency bias from like a few minutes ago. But I'm seeing Martin, I'm going, man, Martin, like look at him there, like he is stacked and super full. And yeah, I think it would be, man, it would be a battle. I really hope we see it on the Olympia stage, like Nathan said.
We gotta see them together, obviously, to know for sure. But I mean, we've been following the sport for a long time. I think we're pretty good judges at this point.
Yeah, we're all right. We're all right.
Yeah,
We're decent. You know.
All right.
Also, I'm sorry, but the boys earlier in the chat, they were talking about Goodvito's like glutes, right? What do you guys think about like scar tissue in the upper glute? It doesn't really bother me. But I guess it depends how bad it is. I didn't think it was that bad. But what do you guys think people
It's lumpy, like major lumpy then, yeah, but not really a glute. If your glutes are shredded, they're shredded, right? It's a bit of a lump, so everyone has it once in a while. It's not like it's a deformity. He can get it fixed. He probably hasn't noticed that until he's been in that shape, right? So I wouldn't put it off. If you kept on coming back with it, then I'd say
be careful.
do something about it. But if it's a one-off thing, I wouldn't. I'm not too phased.
Sure, yeah. Have you guys ever seen that mess up a person's placings, like a glute shot?
Do you think it affected Rami when he had because some people said that I mean, they don't bother me that much, like because a certain part of us, we all know that there's going to be a little bit of something somewhere, and obviously you guys try to avoid it. You don't want to have lumps and super pointy areas of your physique, but it's going to probably happen from time to time. Everyone does a bad shot. But Rami sort of did his glute shots, and it's like he must like mark exactly where he shoots it because it came out really sharp in those points. And people were mentioning it at the Olympia when he sort of, went from first 1 year down to fifth or fourth or whatever he placed. Do you think it's an issue based on how sharp and how aggressive it looks? Like, do you think it could be an issue if it looks bad and, in that regard, not just because if I've seen guys with it, both sides a bit swollen where you can tell it's just inflamed, but it sort of half looks like muscle and doesn't look that obvious. And I'm like, I could care less about that. But yeah.
Like if you look at like Ronnie Coleman's glute or even Derek Lunsford's glute at the Olympia, it just looks, what it looks like to the untrained eye is like the upper glute is just looks like that, or maybe a little bit inflamed. Whereas we know that's where people pin their glutes, like the upper glute. So that to me is not distracting at all. Now, if it's like uneven, that one side is swollen and the other side, then I think it's a little distracting. Or if it covers lines, if it's is seeping down a little bit, or it covers enough surface area where it's taken away from the lines, then yeah, you gotta, that has to count for something, But yeah. I don't think we've seen it that bad on like on a really high. I think Ian 1 year had it bad. Rami 1 year maybe a little bad, but I don't think it was we said anything too crazy.
Where's I mean, you guys are sort of, I suppose, challenged, or all pros are challenged with where to shoot, in what makes the decisions? Is it where won't look the worst? Is it where won't hurt the most? Is it, because there's a lot of guys, and it is hard, especially off season for bodybuilders as well, especially if they're getting up there in terms of amounts, to shoot and know what it's going to look like once the fat sort of strips down. Have you guys ever, do you think about that in your off season or anything as well?
Me? It just depends what time of day it is, bro. It's early, I do it myself. If it's not, someone else will do it for me. Whatever they can put it in, I'm not really, don't really give a fuck. It's like, it's what it is, it goes. As long as in the muscles, like it is what it is.
There. The way I look at off season, I don't give a fuck like Nate. I'll put it wherever I feel comfortable, or if I have a short sleeve on, I might go shoulder. If I have shorts on, I might, I don't care. But
give those nice lumpy delts.
Yeah, get those lumpy delts. But pre-contest, because I'm leaner and I feel like it's a little more visible, I try to put it where it looks good, where it doesn't look obvious or fucked up, but it looks good. So pre-contest, sometimes if I pin my lats, it gives me a little more V-taper, get that Derek. So if I put in my last pre-contest, I get some of that, more flair to the fucking lat. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then sometimes I'll put in my delt, but I don't go side delt. I go, because when you're standing right here, right, even though you see my side delt, you see a little bit of that rear. So like you see the side delt, I'll put it like right here, boom. You see that line? I'll put it in the eye of that line right there.
Oh, so you got a marker for your shots.
Yeah,
the nerves right here.
Exactly.
This is a sweet spot.
So once again, that V-taper, it gives you more of that V-taper. So I'll try to make it look aesthetic if I can. It's what did Arnold say? It's like you're like a sculpture, right? So I'm trying to sculpt that aesthetic. But
hey Nathan, you've got tattoo on your shoulder as well. Do you use that as a marker?
No, I'm just
don't care.
Don't even look.
Yeah. I mean, even my clients, like there's clients that I'm like, yo, your biceps are just flat as hell. Start pinning that shit in your biceps, and then they'll get some scar tissue, and it looks a little better. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I try to use it. I know people who,
the black bitch piano here.
Yeah. Shit, I mean, I know people that shoot their sweeps and it looks more pronounced. I personally don't like the legs. That's just, I got veins there, and it just it makes me uncomfortable. But some people do it, and it looks good on some people. So wherever looks best. Don't do your calves. I've tried that. That shit fucks you up.
Could you not walk?
Yeah, that was horrible, and it started like seeping down to like my ankles. It was bad, so I don't recommend that. But you got to make it look good. Make it look good.
That's the challenge, man, because like you said, like people doing it in their quads, some people stick to that exact same spot and then they get a jagged bit out in their quad, where it comes and it's like it doesn't look good. Or they get what sort of maybe Rami had with the hole developing there, like that has to be from shooting or doing something. Like we heard sort of some things that Chad said, and he said, oh, they messed up his quad or something. He said that, so I'm like, I'm not speculating. I'm like, that's what sort of was put out there. So I assume, obviously, messing up his quads, I don't think he means from training. They put a hole in his quad. So
no, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when you look at Rami from the New York Pro to later on in his career. Something was going on with those quads. It was already huge. I don't know why, whether it was one of his coaches or trainers. I don't know why they would try to put something as anything, even gear.
Maybe everybody's legs are so big, it will just dissipate in there easy. It's such a big muscle, like it makes sense sort of in a way, but yeah, I know you don't need to volumize that.
He started getting a whole shit look like fucking, what do you call it, necrosis. He got fucking necrosis in his quad.
It was filled out by the Arnold though, mostly filled out.
It's crazy, right? So
whatever he
did. Definitely, I mean, I don't believe the stem cells filled the hole in a few months. So I think they probably filled it in with the same shit that fucked it up to begin with.
Comes back in the next comp, he's got one leg. This is one quad missing.
You never know. If you have like a great muscle group like that, leave it alone. Don't even tamper with it. Don't even tamper with it. So,
man, how do they judge the classes? Like I've seen these people compete, which I think is awesome, and they've got like a prosthetic leg. I see it on an amateur level. You never see it in the, or actually, no, you do see it in the pros, bionic body. But
yeah.
How do they judge it? Do they just judge it as like that leg? They're just replicating in their mind on the other side?
Bro,
don't laugh.
There was a guy like that, and we brought him up on the podcast, and we were asking serious questions, but I feel like we got a little carried away with it. but the guy was super nice, and he DM'd me, and he was like, "Yeah, thank you for the shout out," because we were like, he does classic. We were like, "Yo, do they let him weigh in with the leg or without the leg?" Because that's kind of a cheat
I
code.
heard that. I heard that.
And he told me no, they make him weigh the leg. I'm like, so do you get like a super light leg? He's like, yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Yeah, you got to make that weight.
Man, imagine if we get like a C-bum. If we get a C-bum style guy or an open size guy, just say we get Nathan De Asha and he loses his leg, and then you go into doing a comp, a classic physique.
It sounds daft, bro, but the smart thing to do, really, if you wanted to go far, right, would be men's physique. I would do.
Oh yeah.
You ain't getting judged on the leg, because then guys ain't got no legs anyway. I would do men's physique.
That's true. Do you get? I guess okay. They don't judge calves, so technically, I think he will be fine, right?
Yeah.
But the other guy I'm talking about. Let me see if you can find, because that guy's really good actually. You know the name of the guy who I'm talking about, Xavier?
I don't know who you're talking about. No. Oh wait, is this an Australian guy?
I'm not sure.
He has.
It's black. He has a black. He's a white guy.
Okay.
He looks like whitish to me, and he has like one complete fake leg, but it's black. It's like a black leg, and he has crazy sweeps.
Does he look slightly Asian?
He does actually. Yeah, he looks like the Asian.
Okay, go.
But that one leg is crazy. That one leg is crazy. It has like a crazy sweep, but then the fake prosthetic leg has a sweep too. He I guess he bought a leg with a sweep, or he custom made the leg. I don't know what he did to it. So we're like, does she get a 0 for symmetry, or does he get a 10 for symmetry because he got a prosthetic leg that matches his real leg? I don't know how they're gonna judge that, bro. I don't get it.
Just go classic, bro. Go men's physique. Sorry, go men's physique. It's only judging bodies anyway. So why not?
Yeah.
What's his name, man? Now, Baidi, what's his name? I need to find him.
Let me see if I can find him.
Yeah, you find him.
Because looking at the rest of his body, bro, he would win. He would win a lot of shows. Like you said, imagine Bumstead with one leg. The rest of his body still wins, but then he's missing one leg. So do you give him credit or discredit him? It's hard to say. I don't know how I'm gonna find him, bro. He's on like Bodybuilding Without Borders a lot.
I was thinking that too, but I was like, I gotta really scroll. I'll do it. I'll do the scrolling.
His coach messaged me before. I just don't know how to even find the messages, but that guy's really good, man. I just can't remember the name.
Yeah, I hate that.
If you find it, put it in the video, edit it in the video.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I'll scroll while we're talking anyway and see if I can find it. But yeah, I know what you mean. That's the thing. It's you could massively manipulate it. You could be an open size guy and be missing one leg, and your leg weight and your prosthetic leg, you could just show up at weigh-in with a different one, and then get away with weighing in without a leg.
Just put a fucking piece of wood on there, bro. A piece of fucking 1 by 1.
Because would C-Bum open size? Would he beat all the other classic guys without a leg?
See that's I think if I were the judge, if you had the better overall physique with a fake leg, I think I would still pick you. You know?
Yeah, you have to, bro. Just because obviously it sounds stupid to say, right? Because you only got one leg, but just judge the one leg, because 90% of the time the left leg is probably the same size as the right leg anyway. So whatever he's gaining on the right leg, is going to be on the left. Bear in mind, because he's only got one leg anyway, and if that leg is big, it would be actually bigger if he had 2 legs. You know what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah.
It would be bigger because obviously the leg, the prosthetic leg is probably pushing a lot of weight, right? So that's, I'd give him credit for that as well, because let's say his leg's fucking 20 inches, for example, right? The way it is now. Obviously, if you had the real leg, like 22, wouldn't it? It'd naturally be bigger anyway. So you can judge the fucking leg. You know what I'm saying?
If I see Phil Heath next to I don't want to disrespect anybody. Next to somebody who, I mean, almost anybody. Phil Heath beats everybody, right? So if you have Phil Heath next to just like any other Olympian, and Phil is missing one leg, but he's still Phil everywhere else, I gotta pick Phil, man. I gotta pick Phil. That's
Does
just
it
me.
affect
But
the posing though?
No, because
Like, I'm trying to imagine Phil with one leg, and I'm like, I just can't even imagine holding that much mass with a prosthetic leg. I don't know why. It just doesn't compute in my head.
he might be. Maybe he'll be a little shaky. I don't know, but I think he he get the job done. You know, like Bionic Bunny, he wasn't that bad. He was holding the poses. Shit, he was holding it better than Vito.
Yeah, he's not shaky. I don't actually understand how you have two prosthetic legs from a knee down.
Born like that, bro. Wasn't it?
No, but how do the legs work? It's incredible.
Oh, because you can't even see his kneecap. I would assume
It's
okay.
in the sleeve. That's your fake leg. You put a sleeve on, and then the structure of the sleeve stays in prosthetic leg. And then when you're bending, your rear leg's bending like this to move the fucking the prosthetic one.
So he has leg below the knee.
Even if
he has to.
It has to have below there for it to go in.
Because that's what I was thinking. I thought it was just the top part of his leg. And I'm like, so he just swings his legs and he walks, and then the rest. I'm like, how does that work?
No, just walk on because they make it so the ball and socket, so you're just walking anyway. So it gives the same movements as you like. It's in your kneecap. Do you know what I mean? It's the same. Yeah. So his stump will be on another stump, which is possibly the leg. He shows you on his page.
He showed you?
Does he?
Well, okay.
Yeah, he's
fucking incredible.
He walks all the time. Well, because
he walks all the time.
when he has the leg, when you have the prosthetic on, it looks like he only has a quad. But you wouldn't be able to train quads. You wouldn't be able to train or flex your quads if you didn't have a little bit of lower leg. So I think he has a little piece of lower leg. I don't know how much he has, but he has to have something there. It doesn't look like it, but he has to.
Because that's what tripped me out. Because I'm thinking, how does this guy leg press?
Go down. Go down. He'll show you.
He got knees. He has to have knees.
Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. That's what I've been thinking the whole time. I'm like, how does this guy develop any quads?
I mean, it still doesn't make sense because he has knees.
Yeah, but look, even there, even on the bench, you can swing on the bench on the Panada machine. Go down on there. Yeah, the paper leg. Wait, you can see his knee there. Look, you can see his knee. See?
Oh yeah, because dude, even the thing. Think about when you leg press and squat and stuff. You're thinking about what part of your foot you're pushing through.
Oh, he's strong. His legs are strong, bro.
How does
wait? How do you do leg extensions or leg press though? If you have knees but no calf.
Same way.
Where did the pad go? On the prosthetic?
Yeah.
Huh.
And you get so much leverage from that. The part below his knee.
The whole thing, the whole leg is designed to move as a leg, so it goes backwards and everything. It's fucking it's bro. Believe I've seen him train.
How are you? I was gonna say, how are you the authority on how this guy's legs move?
I train with him. I speak to him all the time. The guy's a fucking freak, bro.
He's awesome. Hey, we got to get him on, man, because we should be asking him all these questions. But
we should.
It's actually crazy.
Message him. Come on, Hell
yeah. I think I actually messaged him ages ago, and I don't know what happened, but I mean that might have been me being slack. So sorry, my man, buddy. But yeah,
now when you're like Xavier said, when I'm leg pressing, I'm thinking about I'm pushing from the balls of my feet. So if you're leg pressing with a lower prosthetic leg, that's hard to connect. Really hard to connect.
Well, because
I would imagine
you just got to think of driving down, just driving down. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. He's just gonna just think of just driving down because he's gonna stimulate the quad anyway, right? So he just has to like a small piece underneath. His whole point will be to drive that into the prosthetic. So because he's just driving that, it's just pushing. You know what I mean? That's where he's getting the stability from. You get me?
Yeah.
But I'm not. You know.
I was just trying to push my hand into my like the just below my knee to like see what it might feel like putting that tension on. I'm like, yeah, you can sort of imagine it a little bit doing it like that, but I guess we think about pushing out through our feet, which is like he doesn't have feet. So it's like hard for us to imagine how that even feels, because the movement would not feel at all the same, surely.
No fucking no.
Yo, I'm pretty sure he posted a leg day video with Larry Wills, and I remember being like,
I'll
huh.
find it.
I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, how did that leg workout go? Is what I'm trying to imagine. But apparently it looks like he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't limp, he walks fine. So I'm sure he's doing great with it.
I can't find that video of him where he's talking about it. I have to find it.
You scroll down his page, there's some ways that he's in the pool with his kids and stuff, swimming without the legs on, getting out of bed and stuff. Yeah, but loads. It's like he's all the time.
He's doing good, yeah.
Well, he's got like a massive thirst trap picture.
And then fucking them legs ain't cheap, bro.
No, hell no. Thousands of dollars. They don't.
Oh yeah. We can see here. This is what his legs look like.
Yeah, see.
Oh yeah. He got some. Yeah, he got some stuff there.
Yeah.
I don't get banned from YouTube.
Yeah. That makes more sense because he could kind of like
push through. Yeah. Because I literally thought it must have been, his legs must have been more cut off like here. So I'm like, how are you getting that tension through there? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if it's cut above the knee, you're kind of fucked at that point because you can't do much. You can't do much. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my mind was completely blown thinking about how his leg training works. But Nathan, thank you for giving us some insight, my man. But we've got a couple of questions.
A good face, right?
What's that?
I'm not just good looking, right?
No, that's it. Multifaceted, multi-talented man. Okay, so the first question is, what's your biggest cycles? So up to you if you want to say.
If you want to know mine, next time I do a Q&A in a seminar, come to the gym and I'll explain it then. Obviously, no hold barred, no phones, but on YouTube is not the most smartest way. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We've done some silly things, right?
Yeah. I've done some crazy cycles, but I mean, you only do it a few times before you realize that the shit don't work that way, So
yeah,
I've done over 2 grams of tests before. I don't think. I mean, obviously, in your 20s, it's not going to kill you, but if you do it every year, then it might. You know, so I just got watery, as you would imagine. I probably got a little stronger, but it didn't translate to stage weight. So that's as crazy as I got. I've never gotten crazy with other compounds. Pretty much I just really my body likes tests, so I just push the test as high as possible. And then anything over like maybe a gram, 1,200, then it starts to, you don't really get that much more benefits from it. Some people do 1,500, but I don't know if I get more results from 1,500 than I do 1,200. I think around there it's around the same. So that's just crazy as it gets. I've never done anything too wild like with orals. I can't eat with orals. Tren, I get on Tren, I get like I don't want to say if it's anxious. I don't know. I feel stressed out on Tren, so I don't push Tren too crazy. That's about it. Just push tests pretty high. I'm sure every bodybuilder has tried high tests at some point.
Yeah, if you can't push the trend, remember, guys, go to my website, buy a trend t-shirt. Support
What's
the
movement,
website, baby.
bro? What's the website? What's the website?
Northwest Mecca. www.northwestmecca.co.uk, bro.
Okay, cool. I'll put the link in the description too, so make sure that's right.
We ship worldwide.
Nice,
For life, baby.
I like it. I'll put the link in the description, so if anyone wants to buy them, they can head to that. But make sure you send it to me as well, because I'll freaking forget.
Yeah,
but what were we even talking about just then?
Cycles.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say something that sort of gets, I suppose, not talked about that much, but everyone, it seems like there's a negative side to everything, every sort of like anabolic. Like you've got test where everyone's like, oh yeah, test is good, that's your base sort of thing, and then you add stuff on top. But test is the one that seems like that has sort of the least side. Yeah, you get the water retention and basic things like that. But when you look at all the other ones, you look at EQ, people say, okay, you can get more anxiety when you take that. It's not good to take. People look at DECA and they say, oh, you can get DECA, raises prolactin, progesterone, you can get this and whatever. then you've got trend, which obviously has its known side effects. And it seems like when you hear some people talk, it sounds like people love Masteron now because it's the one that has the least sides and Anavar, you know, and then people say orals obviously can't eat, like you said, Baidi. So it seems like maybe like test is sort of the, I don't know, it's the quote unquote safest one with the least side effects. Do you guys think that, or do you guys not see the sides of these other things? Or
I don't really get sad, to be honest, bro.
Yeah.
I can't really
I
say
got
like I get any size myself. You know, my bloods are good, my skin's good. I get a fat face like a hamster, and you know that's probably because I'm a fat mofo, you know. But
yeah.
no, really, I get for myself. I don't get nothing to sleep. I barely sleep anyway. Like on or off cycle, I probably do 4 hours a night sleeping. So for me, it's not like really. I don't really get anxious, you know, or not like that.
Yeah, I guess to some extent, I gotta agree with Nathan. Like I don't get gyno, I don't break out, I don't even really feel that mentally different on gear, if I'm being honest. Maybe sometimes you get a little more horny or some shit, I guess, but
That's about it.
you know, yeah, that's about it. But for the most part, okay, Deca, yeah, that Deca, at least I haven't done Deca in a long time, but when I did Deca, I definitely got Deca dick. But I wasn't as smart back then. I didn't take like cabergoline or something like that. So, and I probably took too much. So, Deca, I would say give me some size, and then orals I can't eat. That's about it. But my blood work doesn't really budge. Maybe liver enzymes go a little up. My creatinine doesn't budge. My hemoglobin, I don't have to donate blood. I don't get that. So, side effects. I think if you're doing decent smart cycles, unless you just fucked genetically, you shouldn't be really getting side effects like that. I don't think most of us really get any crazy sides. You know, I think
so. So if anyone out there is having side effects, just remember Baidi says you're probably genetically.
It might be, yeah. I mean, Nathan, have you ever talked to any pros that get like a bunch of side effects? I don't really.
That's true.
Every pro's natural, bro. Did you know that? Every pro is you know, you don't. They always say, "Oh, I only take 1 mil of just 1 mil a Deca." That's all I hear.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't even ask guys like what you take no more. Like, you know, it's pointless.
Yeah.
No, bro, I don't take this. I don't take that. Don't take this. But I'm like, but I know your coach. I know your cycle. So you know, I've seen it. You know, it's on the email. So like, but they just want to lie. So to be honest, I don't even ask them, man. Like when I was first in the game, yeah, I did, and they all lied. Now I'm like bullshit, bro. That's why I just be honest about it, you know, because it's good to educate rather than be in denial.
Yeah.
I think sometimes as well, people hear a couple of pros lying about what they use, and then they assume all pros lie, and it's like, no, some do. Like anything, some do, some don't. Some, you know, like you get some guys, but like you, Nathan, if you're going to put out your amounts out there, you're going to be straight. You're not going to say, oh, the most test I've ever done 750, and the most Decas I've ever done is 2 mil a week. You know, you're not just going to say that crap. You know, there are some guys. I mean, I hear some guys that, you know, sort of get a bit of a reputation, but okay, maybe they don't use as much. Maybe they're in a 212, maybe they're in another class, maybe they're, you know, super health conscious or something. And there's a few guys where I'm like, yeah, he's actually probably not, because you hear multiple people say it. But then you hear, I've heard the opposite as well, where someone says, I've only used this much, I've only used this much. And then I've heard, okay, times that by 4. So it's like, you know, you hear things. But
I think most bodybuilders downplay it. Maybe I don't know the reasoning. I think maybe some of them feel like they get more credit if they do that. But
yeah,
I don't think
that's a reasoning.
But like, do any of it?
You go to a gym and ask people. I don't know what, you know. I seen this podcast. This guy do it on a talk show the other day on YouTube. Right? He's going around all the gyms in the Arnold, you know, Ohio, and he's asking all guys, you know, you want the key, you want the juice, you want supplements, and in America. Is that what it was? Everyone's like, no. And he come to Europe, bro. He come to England, and he's in a gym in England. And it's not even like a meathead gym. It's like a fucking underground commercial gym. It's a fucking shit gym anyway, right? Being polite. And he was going around asking guys, take gear, bro. 9 out of 10 of them said yeah. So I think like in Europe, I think the guys are more open about it. Like we don't give a fuck, you know. So where in the US, they're hiding it like it's some big like stigma. Oh, you can't take that. Over here, we're like, yeah, bro. Like everyone's on it. It's people say it's a pandemic, but you know, that's down to social media because everyone, you know, you're focused to look a certain way. You have to look a certain way. Girls have to look a certain way. You have to have them big booties because, you know, if it weren't for these girls who are in so much good shape having these big asses, there wouldn't be so much animal knocking about. These girls are eating animal out of fucking fun. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that's what you see. Like you can come over here, you can go to any gym. Most gym ask a girl, you want animal? And she just say yeah. Probably, yeah. About they go, about the dabble. But wherever, no, I'm anti-drug. This is a BJJ, or BLL, whatever they're called. People don't know. Oh no, natural. Oh, my mum's Brazilian, or this, and you know, my dad's Jamaican. I've got this big ass, and I'm just born like this. Yeah, sure you are. Sure. And I was born like this, a good-looking motherfucker. You know, it's just the way we are.
Yeah. I don't think I would respect
You more for taking less, you know. If Phil Heath told me he took 500 or 5,000, I don't care. I'm like, he's still the GOAT. I don't really give a fuck. It don't bother me any.
You might not care, but if Phil Heath came out and said he took 5,000 a week, you can imagine.
A lot of people talk shit.
I'm making videos, bro. I'm making more than one. I don't know how, but I'm making more than one.
He did say it on a podcast. He was on a podcast with like a mainstream guy. He's been talking about it because he's working with Merrick now. So, you know, he's basically saying I'm on TRT now. So that means that he's already talking about steroids. So now he doesn't care anymore. But he said the most he's done of tests was, he said 1,750, right? Which is more than I thought he did.
No podcast from me. I've not watched it yet.
Yeah.
It was about what I thought he was going to say. So I was like, yeah.
Really? I thought he was going to say like 1,000. Because that's you know. Now he said, which I believe.
That's a stock standard answer. 1,000's a stock standard answer, I'd say.
Exactly. So that made me feel like Phil is being honest. Because if he didn't want to be honest, he would have been like, 5, you know, he would have to. He said he turned pro on, I forgot what he said, but it was what you could imagine Phil Heath turned pro on. It was like 500 tests and Whitney or something like that. That's believable. He was like 205 pounds. So I mean, that's not, So him coming out and saying that, he didn't have to say that. You know, so I do believe that. And honestly, Phil, I thought Phil was on lower than that from me. I thought maybe 1,100, 1,500. So that's really honest from to say that.
Yeah. The other funny thing is Phil Heath actually said, I can't remember. I might even make a video on this. You're giving me ideas and I'm writing things down because I think he actually did say that I took less than everyone. Now, if he's saying he took 1,750 a week of tests alone, then what does that say about everyone, what he thinks everyone else does?
I mean, I heard stories about Kai, you know, and
I
Oscar
have
Arden. So I might have to agree when it comes
to him and Kai, but I don't know about everybody else. I don't know what everybody else is taking.
And think about it. If you and I have heard these stories or rumors or whatever they are, then you know Phil's heard them.
Yeah, he definitely heard him. He heard it all. Just being around, when I went to the Vegas show with Compton and being around Compton and all his friends talking, you hear so much shit that you're like, okay, this is like the third time I'm hearing this. There has to be some truth to it. You know, you hear things about different people and people talk, man. People are nosy and people talk. So there's always going to slip up here and there. You know what I'm saying?
I only hear the international stuff these days. I actually kind of like staying out of my own scene in terms of like the gossip and stuff. Like I'm not involved in any gossip in any industry and people in person. It's just literally all online, which is sort of in a way nice. And it's like, I don't get involved. People just tell me stuff, you know, you just get told stuff and you're like, oh, okay. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. We've just got a couple of quick questions. We'll just bust through. I'd be interested in bodybuilders having jobs outside the fitness industry and how that affects their progress. Also, what do the guys want to do for a career once they retire? I guess we all work within in this industry, so we don't have jobs outside of it. But what do you guys want to, or Baidi, do you want to do something different at a later age and have a career or anything? Or
I could just keep selling drugs. No, I'm joking. Nah, when I'm done, I don't know. I never thought about that. I coach people right now, but if I'm being honest, being a full-time coach is not as fun as most people think it is. So I don't even want to be involved with bodybuilding. My brother-in-law, my sister, they buy and flip houses, shit like that. I would rather learn some shit like that and just stay away, and not stay away from bodybuilding. I'm still gonna be part of the industry, but fitness money, having to rely on your body to make money is not always the best way to make a living. You could dabble in that, but you want to have some on the side too. So I would probably look into something like that. I don't know. I want to own a gym just because it's fun, but does it make a lot of money? I don't think it will. I don't know. Does it make money, Nathan? Do gyms make money?
Make money.
Okay, so maybe I might open a gym in right next to Nathan. Still his customers. But, yeah, I mean that's what I could think of. I mean, I would want to make money outside the industry just to feel secure, because it's like a luxury. Coaching for a bodybuilding show is a luxury, whereas having owning a home or having a place to live, that's not a luxury. Everybody needs a place to live. So if I could get into some real estate, a little bit of drugs, a little bit of real estate, a little bit of coaching, I'm good to go.
A little bit of Fenty.
Yeah, a little bit of
Fenty. Nathan, do you want to always stay in the gym game? Like, what's your plans future-wise?
Once I was before bodybuilding, I'm a builder, bro. I was on a building site. You can't take manual labor. I'm a man. Manual labor is what I do. I was always raised to make money with your hands, and regards what you do. So for me, like everyone knows, I'll be retired in 2 years, something, maybe 3 at the most. I'm still always dabble in the building game. But for me, bros, I'm still doing. Hopefully, open another gym, and then I'm just gonna keep buying like I can do now. Just keep buying and selling houses. Hopefully, build housing estates. Build some high-story flats. But once I'm gone from this game, bro, you won't see me walking around the expo, shaking hands, taking pictures, charging for pictures, $20 because I'm on my ass. No way, bro. Like, this for me, it's not even about the money because it don't pay no money. Like I said to you guys, yeah, you don't what I earn and stuff, but bro, that's just toy money. That's just fucking money to buy a few, cars, a few bikes that I don't even need to look at, watches and bullshit. But it's just toy money. It's not proper money. So for me, to go back to the building game, and I'll probably, even though I'll own the building sites, I'll still probably work 3 days a week, just because I believe, if you're physically active and you're doing things, you're gonna live a longer life. Because it looks a lot of these guys who are in the building sites or doing manual labor, they're 70, 80 years old still, with a trowel in their hand, or they're still traveling, they're still holding scaffolding bars, doing shit. You need to stay mobile and functional. You need to keep working, otherwise you're gonna get a lot of problems. So for me, go back on the building sites, and that's people like, oh, you're doing manual labor, but I enjoy it, man. Like, I do what I enjoy. Right now, I enjoy bodybuilding. So I'll go back to manual labor because I enjoy that. And then I ain't got to worry about eating, certain food I can eat when I want. But I ain't coming back to this game, bro. Once I'm gone, my black ass is gone.
Will you train still?
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna I've been pushing this shit for like 18 years. So I want to try and get my body back. I'll come off all the crap, and probably do TRT, possibly. And I'm gonna get into high rocks, man. I'm gonna keep doing my fitness, get fit, so I can, so I can take my son up for runs. My plan is when my son's in senior school in 2 years' time, I want to be up at 6 in the morning, go on a 5 or 10K run every morning with my son, come back, shower, wash, school, boom, every morning routine. He wants my boy and my daughter want to be footballers, so they have to be fit. So if I'm not willing to get up to run with them, then they're not gonna succeed in their dream. And if they want to be that, then I'll do everything in my power to do that. If that means me quitting bodybuilding, then so be it, because they come first, man. And that's for me, that's my life, is my kids. So that's why I'll be retired and doing with the kids, just having fun and living life, man.
And when they're playing for Liverpool too, then at least that's a good investment for you.
Money.
Then they should look after you,
bro. When they're bringing on $250 a week Yeah, rubbing it. All sitting in the
Nathan,
Gaudi.
can I ask Nathan a question? So, if your son comes to you at like 18 and he's like, "Yo, Dad, I've been going through your old bodybuilding videos, man. I think I want to do this." What are you gonna tell your son?
Is he what's he doing like? Is he playing football, or is he just doing the streets or fucking around?
He's playing football and he's like, you know what? I'm not feeling this football no more, man. I'm tired of this bullshit. I want to be body. Exactly. Yeah.
Because
That's exactly what the fuck I would do.
I'm being serious, bro. Like I done that because I fell out of love of football, right? Playing for Liverpool, bro. Fell out of love of football because it became a sport where it was like dead whimsy, full of girls. You couldn't find no one, you couldn't hit no one. There was no more fucking having a little Sunday weekend bush up with the boys, punching faces and getting your face punched in the Sunday and stuff. You know, but if he's at an academy level and he says, "Dad, you know, you've done successful in bodybuilding, I want to do it," I just say, "No, man, like stay out of it." Because for me, I'm great, I'm lucky, right? Because if I didn't do bodybuilding, I wouldn't have my two kids, yeah. Because if I would have stayed at football, I'd be a hell of a lot richer than I am, you know. I'd fucking obviously I'm 37, so I'll be retired anyway. But you know, I would have played the likes of fucking, you know, in the early 2000, late 2000s, you know, when you had the main players there and stuff. So I lost out on that because I chose a different path. And because I didn't have any guidance, really, to be totally honest. If I would have knew that, you know, stay on the right path. Right now you're earning no money, but 18 months down the line, then you know you're gonna be earning 20 grand, 30 grand a week. I would have done that, but I didn't have the guidance, didn't have no one to tell me that. And that's where I think, you know, the father figure in the household, you know, stands up for your kids. I didn't have that. So I'm there to show them that way. Look, you know, it mightn't always look like it's gonna happen, but if you're determined, man, it can happen. Like me, you know, like I take all away, so I've succeeded at bodybuilding. But money wise, bro, it's like don't do this shit. Plus, it's fucking bitchy as fuck. And you can't be your own man. You can't say what you want to say. You have to say certain things and do certain things. At least a footballer, you get judged on merit on what you're doing. Not that someone likes you or something, or you said something wrong, you know, and that goes against you. Because if I'm on the ball, bro, and I'm putting them in the back of the net, no one cares.
Most good fathers are gonna say the same thing. That's what happened to Hunter. Lila Barter said no when he told me, like, nah, hell no, you're not doing that. Now Hunter did it anyways, and he's successful. So let's say if your son did it anyways and he reaches to the top, yeah, you're gonna show him respect. Okay, good shit.
Yeah.
You did it anyway, son. Good job. I didn't want you to do this shit, but okay,
I wouldn't help him. I wouldn't help him for the first year. I'd let him suffer. I'd like, look, bro, you know, you're turning down $1 million contracts for what? To lift a bit of weights, you know. You can do it later on. I was like, look, if you're passionate about it, succeed at football, do this shit later on in life. You can do it in life later on, you know, get your bread in, make your money. And then if you still want to do it, still train. If you're passionate about training, still train and get big and stuff. But the route is not the best, because I'm honest with my kids, right? Like I'd say, you know, the amount of fucking shit I've been on, I'd probably take 10, maybe 15 years off my life, 10 years off my life. And I'm honest with that. I'm cool with that, you know, and that's me. I weighed up the pros and the cons to where, for me, in my heart of hearts, if I could do what I was doing in the day, right, and like could be dead, or like some of my friends serving 20 or 30 years in jail, that could be me,
Exactly.
But right now, where I am, I know that I've put my life on the line, but my kids have got a better life, you know, and they're not visiting the dad in jail, they're not doing whatever, they're not going to a grave. But I know that I've took time off my life. But I said I'm cool because I can give them a better future with that. And that's me being cool with it. That's what people, I think, don't understand with the sport. We have to come to terms with the shit we take is not gonna kill you right away. It's gonna take some time off you. Like everything in life, you smoke, you drink, you snort. You're gonna affect some time somewhere along the line. If you're cool with that, so be it. You know, and that's the way people, I think, they don't like to see or don't like to hear that. But for me, I'm honest, and I said to the kids, look, this is what happened to me, and this is what's going to happen but they've got what I didn't have in life. So for me, it's a win-win, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Man, sometimes when Baidi laughs, he snorts, so he might be taking years off his life there, I reckon.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
I'm joking.
that's something you got to come to terms with. The sacrifice and investment for bodybuilding is too high for somebody who's in any kind of privileged position. I don't believe anybody who has like a like a great family situation and family money, and you shouldn't be bodybuilding, even though a lot of them do. It's like a struggle sport to me. I feel like the only people who could benefit off of it is people like Nathan or people like me, or a lot of guys I know that their life would have been worse without bodybuilding. Not even competitively. If I didn't find a gym, my life would have took a complete different turn. You know what I'm saying? So I personally needed that, not even for the sport, but just for my own mental health and having the discipline and staying away from other things in life. So I think it benefited us. But if you're in a position where, Nathan kids are going to be where their dad did well for himself, there's no need to live that amount of struggle and sacrifice. Why? For what? It's just not worth it.
It depends what position you're in as well, because there's so many, like you're saying, if you're in a good situation, then why would you bodybuild? Now, there's one guy that was in Perth, Western Australia when I lived there, and he was a guy that, as far as I know, he was a part owner of basically a supplement importation. Like they used to import like Muscle Tech, BSN, all the big brands, and then distribute them around Australia. So this guy obviously did well, and I think he drove nice cars, plenty doing well financially. He used to compete in natural bodybuilding, and he came in, he was winning the overall every time, basically in the state show. He came in peeled to the bone. I mean, peeled, and he stayed pretty shredded year round. And for him, it was like, it wasn't that big of a deal, but inside out, and he obviously pushed himself really hard. I heard he trained like super, super hard, but obviously not going to the pro bodybuilder level and pushing things with stuff like that. But for him, it's like, he obviously got enjoyment out of it. It was something to, when you've got a certain amount of money, I think some people need something more than an extra money goal to get them out of bed, sort of thing. And, especially, I don't know how old he was, but he was like master's age as well. So he might have kids that have left home, and it's like, well, okay, what am I doing? Right? I've got money. This is my hobby. I love doing it, so. I mean, I wouldn't compete naturally for fun, like, right, at 50 years old or 45 or whatever. I don't know. I don't find that doesn't sound fun to me, crashing your test levels out. But I don't know.
Like I guess like a Justin Shire would fall in that category. He comes from a decent home. He had a successful weed business, was already making a lot of money, and he's like, I want to bodybuild. He was older, maybe. Justin maybe 35, 36 by now. So he turned pro later because he started competing late. I think he did his first show at like late 20s or early 30s, something like that. So he already had the money. Now he has the money to invest in the sport, and he's making extra money from sponsors, so he's already set. So he doesn't need to win it. Even though he did win his debut, he doesn't need to win shows to make money. He's doing it because he loves it. That could work. And I don't think he's going to take that much years off his life because he started so late. He started gear already, I don't know, 30. So he's gonna do it for 10 years, and then you're in and out. I think, that could do it. But a lot of us started at fucking 18, 19. So we're talking about it's gonna be 20, 25, 30 years by the time we're done. So that's a whole another level of sacrifice. So that can work as a fun hobby that you happen to just be genetically good at, like Justin. But anything boring that, I don't know if you want to invest 20 years on gear. That's a big sacrifice.
Yeah. And Nathan, you made some good points for sure as well. And when you made the point of that, bodybuilding may have saved you and Baidi, realistically may have extended your life massively, because I know some people that they're going to throw themselves into something if they've got like an obsessive personality. So they throw themselves either into like hard drugs, or they throw themselves into bodybuilding. And they're like, well, I'm at this point in my life, I'm just going to take the test. I don't care anymore. I've thought about it before. I'm just going to take it. And it's like, it's not the best theoretical life choice when you're maybe even not best mental spot and you're adding in hormones. And, realistically, we know it's probably a bad choice. But compared to going being like, meth is now my choice of drug, or I'm going to try this because I don't care. It's like that's the wrong way. I mean, taking tests is
Right.
probably a lot more mild. So I think honestly, in so many situations, bodybuilding saves so many people because it's a discipline that you can always come back to. You've always got something to come back to. Because man, there's some people out there that have a 9-to-5 job, that don't have many friends, and they come home and they've got nothing. They've got no hobby. They've got nothing. They've got no community. And dude, like, I get it. Like, you cut bodybuilding out of my life through some stages of my life, and my life is considerably tougher because then you just don't have that community. You know,
Yeah,
living in places, and I've moved places where I've moved across Australia, and I've had no friends in that spot, like none. And then, you know, something goes wrong with the person living with there, and you're like, shit, I got no one around. You know, straight away, you're like, that's different. If you don't have bodybuilding and don't have these other communities, then it's like you're asking to be left feeling lonely. So I think it's the cool thing about bodybuilding is anyone can jump in at any time and become a part of the community. You know, I've even got people comment on my videos, you know, and some people say, I always think when people say like this podcast saved me or something, or like, you know, like, oh, I really look forward to listening to this. Like, that's sometimes people's only, you know, feel of community. So when Baidi posts a 3-hour podcast, they're like, hell yeah. Because I get to hang out with my friends for 3 hours, you know? So that's what I love about bodybuilding. And honestly, in that way, I think it's probably extended as many lives or more lives than it actually has sort of ended sooner. So there's goods and negatives, you know?
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, I'm sure Nathan when it comes to bodybuilding, okay, let's say I started gear at 18, 19, right? At that point in my life, it was an easy choice to make because I didn't care. I didn't care if I did die. I gotta be honest with you. At 18, if I was dead in jail, it didn't scare me. I was like, okay, I don't give a fuck. So at that point, if anything, it might have extended our lives. You know, I'm sure Nathan can relate because we didn't really have that much regard for that shit. So as we got older and continued bodybuilding, we had a goal. Okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. So it makes you want to live and it makes you want to do better. And you got to make money to bodybuild. So it makes you want to make more money. So if anything, it made us better. Whereas if we were just who we were, we didn't give a fuck. It would have been like, I'm not gonna work a 9-to-5, but I'm gonna make money. However that is, it is what it is. And then whether you get your freedom taken away or you get your life taken away, it didn't really matter. It's like, okay, cool. We got to survive somehow, you know. So I think it probably extended our lives, you know, if we look at it from that point of view.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think that's a good note to end on, boys. I want to thank you for doing Bodybuilding University once again. Go and check out Nathan's website. You can get the trend t-shirts on there as well. So make sure you check them out. The link is in the description below. Also check out Baidi Farl's podcast on whatever his channel is called. It doesn't matter because the link will be in the description. And check it out because it's awesome. I go on there a bit and we have he has a bunch of people on there, Beef Stew, Joe, Ken, all the guys on there. So it's a really cool podcast. And I listen to literally every single episode. So everyone make sure you check it out. And check out my man Nathan's YouTube channel, all their social medias, all that stuff is in the description below. Plus, I've got some discounts as well down there for you guys as well. So that's it for myself, Xavier Wills, Baidi Farl, and Nathan De Asha. For all of us at Bodybuilding University, we are out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Bodybuilding University. And if you did, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, and also subscribe and click the notification bell button. And that's particularly important because this is on a new channel compared to the original desktop bodybuilding channel. Now, both channels will still be running. The original channel will have more bodybuilding news, and this one will have the podcast and interviews. So make sure you subscribe. And if you're not subscribed to the original desktop bodybuilding channel, head over there and subscribe to that as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. For all the guys at Bodybuilding University and myself, Xavier Wills, we are out.